We are live. So finally, we are going international again, and we've got the fabulous Keith with us. So, hey, Keith, lovely to have you with us.
Hello, hello.
Where are you talking to us from? Because here in the UK, we're so small, we just love hearing from somebody with a different accent.
Yeah, well, sorry, I don't have a Texas accent. I'm just an import Texan.
Okay, that's
but
okay.
Yeah, I think everybody is in my generation. So
Yeah.
I don't have a hat, I don't have a draw, but I say y'all a lot. So, but no, I'm from Houston, Texas. So between Houston and the coast is where I'm at right now.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit about you. For anybody who doesn't know Keith Schreiter and what I've followed you for such a long time, me and Roz in particular who introduced me. Tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Okay. Well, about me, I'm a Gemini. No, I'm in my mid 40s. So I've been self-employed for over 28 years now. Wow. Love it. Love helping people. My thing is that I want people to live life. I mean, if the only thing people are looking forward to is retirement, then you're doing it wrong.
Totally
you can look forward to it, but just look forward to something else along the way. So yeah, I've been in direct sales, now kind of doing more of the, I still get a check. I'm not crazy, but yes, we'll do more of the books, the live trainings, get to be international, of course. StreamYard, everything has been a big pivot for most people, but I've been loving it for years. So either way,
I think I've loved having you training some of the team and stuff over Zooms and lives, which probably before lockdown we wouldn't have thought about as frequently. But you've been doing this for such a long time, anyway.
I enjoy it just because a lot of people, like, the schedules are getting a lot tighter. You notice that, like, technology should make our lives easier, but now everyone's like, well, okay, I got the kids got to do this thing, and then I think people are just busy. So I love in-person events. I love being able to see people, and it's great, but at the same time, I can't be in 100 different countries at once, but 100 people from 100 countries can be on Zoom. So it's not the same, but at the same time, it's better than nothing.
Absolutely. And I think for me, that's been one of the benefits. I will definitely can't wait to get back out and start traveling and seeing people, but I'll definitely keep so much more of the stuff that we've done over Zooms and things for, like you said, for being able to open up the world. The world became a little bit smaller for a time, didn't it? Where you could just sort of click in with everybody. So tell us some of the stuff that got you into direct sales in the first place.
Well, I kind of grew up in the industry, and to me that's normal. So people are like, well, how does it, to me that's normal. So I have no idea. But I guess the big light bulb moment was when I was in college. I only survived like 3 years, and I just kept taking racquetball to stay. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I realized that, keep in mind, this is the late 90s. So for business and marketing and everything else like that I wanted to go into, whether it was in direct sales or something else, eventually the things in the late 90s, of course, before the .com boom, like, things were just changing rapidly. So everything I was going to learn in college was already outdated when I was going to learn it. So I was like, well, how am I going to learn outdated stuff? I could just be a history major if I want to learn outdated stuff. So it was just interesting, because you realize the world's going to change. The world's going to change. What worked a year ago does not work. What worked 5 years ago definitely doesn't work. There's some people that are still stuck in the 90s. Like, this is how we did it in the 90s. No, we're not going to get a VHS tape out and, bore people. So things are just changing, and I like it because people can make whatever you want. I don't care if you want to make $100 a month or $100,000 a month. I could care less. Whatever you want, whether you want part-time, full-time, it doesn't matter to me. It's all about you. And that's what I love about the industry.
And that's exactly the same as me. I think it opens it up to so many people, whatever their background. And there are so many different ways from it. What do you think about some of the myths around it, and some of the kind of necessarily people that seem to give it a bad rep? It sometimes tends to get a really bad rep from this. And I'm like, it literally is an option and helps so many people. I don't get it. How do you tackle with those people that kind of have the myths and things like that?
Well, if people have a myth, it's either something that we said or somebody else said. So that's the big thing. And a lot of times it's false expectations is the big thing. get rich quick, or even before that is like, how are you bringing people up? Are you doing a bait and switch? Are you literally just telling people, look, you can use this product, you can use the service, you recommend it, you get paid? That's like the bare bones, simplest. And if you keep it that way, people are like, oh, okay, well, that's really what this is all about. I interviewed a lady a couple weeks ago, and she's like, oh, I wish I would have been a customer for 2 months. I wish I would have just went for the business. I didn't realize it was that simple. Now, I mean, there's leadership techniques and things you want to do, group building, culture building techniques, but really it's all about recommending, promoting products and getting paid. Pretty easy.
Yeah, and I think that's, for me, one of the biggest things we recommend, especially in the way life is now. You're constantly checking into somewhere, aren't you? Constantly checking into somewhere. If you're picking up a coffee, or back in pre-COVID days when you were going to the cinema or wherever else, constantly recommending things and churning these things out. And yet you would never get paid for that. But this is an opportunity of just doing the same thing, recommending those products and getting paid for it.
Yes, definitely. And I think one other thing is that some people, the false expectations is a big one. And a lot of times when you get in, some people are like, well, you need to go full time. Like, not everybody wants to go full time. I'd much rather have 99% of people that say, I just want an extra $500 a month, because they're not going anywhere. It's going to make a huge difference. 500 pounds, either way, to their life. And, and some people really like what they do for a living. They really like their job. They really like what they do. Yeah.
And I think what I learned from yourself was about not being judgmental, as in worrying about somebody who might not want it. There's so many people in the industry, from doctors, teachers, people who love their day job, but just love this for the added bonus of what it brings them, those extra bits in life that they can add on top.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I guess anytime you do something out of the normal, you're going to have some people that don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that's any sort of successful, like, okay, let's just take any sports figure. I'm sure their parents or a teacher or a peer, like, there's no way you're going to make it as a professional sports player. Well, someone's got to make it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone that invented anything, a drive-through, an electric car, anything. There's always going to be somebody that says, no, you can't do that. It's not normal.
And I think that's the thing for me that makes someone an entrepreneur. And I think it's that stepping out and doing something a little bit different with it. What are the who are the people that, I mean, I've said this before, a lot of your books and read a lot of your books and your dad's books. Who are the people that you've listened to, and I'm going to come on to your podcast in a minute, who are the people that you've looked up to in the industry before that?
That's right. I get to interview you tomorrow. Yeah, I got all sorts of messed up. Tomorrow. We'll just play this in reverse and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll just go backwards. But yeah, who are the kind of people, or who have you want to get on your podcast? Who have you had on your podcast?
Mm-hmm. Well, I try to, look at Oprah Winfrey. Like,
yes,
all she's done is like just get other people on that she wanted knowledge, like, oh, I could get paid to spread knowledge that I already wanted. So, like, she's like the original, like, in-person podcaster, in my opinion. She's amazing. Yeah. So that's my thing, is like, as much as I think I know a lot, I'm like, well, if I find a little bit more about relations, find more about influence, I find a little bit more about how people are using different platforms, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn. There's so many things that it may be great for me, or there could be a listener that it could be great for. Like, my thing is, it's like a buffet of knowledge, and then you just pick what you want, which is neat. So a lot of people that I started listening to, I'm a little bit more analytical.
Yeah.
And so, like, to me, I like Jim Rohn, and I was able to see him a couple times live before he passed.
Yeah.
And like lately, I've been getting kind of into a mindset, which a big one, he does like, I think like 3 or 4 a week. He's a little bit out of control. Is Rob Dial.
Oh, wow. Somebody else recommended him to me recently.
Yeah. Mindset Mentor. And he's like the one podcast I can listen to where he can actually, I'd say 90% of his are actually just him, which is incredible. I could never do that.
No, that's why you're here, Keith. I can't do that on my own.
So that's a good one. You're never going to agree with 100% of what people tell you. So, like, okay, I like what he says about this. I don't like what he says about that. So I just filter out, and just how we are.
Yeah. And so I think for me, that's the biggest part of my journey with yourself and a few other people that I've followed. It's that personal development. It's worked in, yes, it works in network marketing. Yes, it works in sales and everything else, but so many aspects have actually made a difference in my life, just in normal conversations and relationships. And, you know, magic words work really well with kids too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, who knew that you could have that relationship with your kids and use some of like the magic words that you talk about?
Yeah, that's a big thing. Is like, it's not just about business; it's about being a better person. Like, yeah, okay, great. You'll get a a nice direct deposit, whether hourly, weekly, monthly, whatever it is. That's great, but it's about who you become, so you don't blow the money.
Yeah.
If you raise your expectation of what you want to earn, then it's like raising a thermostat in the winter, or lowering the thermostat in the car. You set what you want. It's money's just one. You get some people that win the lottery and then they're broke the next year, right? Because they
that fills the timelines, doesn't it, on social media and on papers. People who get this opportunity from just a windfall and then it's just gone. So I think you're right. It's about that, what it changes you as a person. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And how do you think, has there ever been any times when you've been in that industry as an entrepreneur or with your business that you felt like just giving up? Like, oh, I'd just love to do a 9 to 5, go into the office, check out, or has that just never been something you've ever considered?
Everybody does that. Everybody's the grass is greener. It's like there's different stresses in a job, but there's different stresses in a business. You just pick, it's like I live where it's hot 12 months out of the year, right? There could be like a cold spell, but so if I didn't like hot weather, I would move, right? It's pretty simple. But then if I moved, I'd be like, I don't have a pool anymore. I can't go to the beach. So there's always going to be different stresses in business and in a 9 to 5, a 40/40 plan, whatever. It's just you pick what you want to do. So yeah, absolutely. It's all about what voices am I listening to? Am I listening to voices that are putting me down or lifting me up? It's about surrounding yourself with like-minded people. My best friend since 9th grade. Well, he wasn't my best friend in 9th grade, but I've known him since 9th grade.
Yeah.
Here in the U.S., for those in the U.S., it's around when you're like 14, 15 years old. He's always been an entrepreneur. I mean, we've always had businesses together. He's been in my business since 1994. When I joined, he still gets a check, even though he runs other businesses.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's who you surround yourself by. And you're like, whoa, well, I don't have time to surround myself with other people. You can surround yourself via podcasts, audios, reading. It's all the same.
Yeah, and I think that is one of the biggest things. This morning, I was saying I've travelled to a networking group this morning that the first time it's opened up and it's miles away from us, and everyone's like, "Why are you getting up at 4:30 to go?" And I won't do it every week, but it was just great to be around positive, uplifting people who want me to succeed, who want to challenge my thinking, who want to push you out there. And I think you're right. It's about who you surround yourself with. And I love that quote. It's about what you're listening to. It's about what voices you're hearing and what you're getting in there. And you can do that, like you said, through podcasts and so many other things.
Oh yes, 100%. And a lot of times it's funny when people ask me, what's your daily routine? I say, well, I listen in the morning, read a little bit in the afternoon, and listen at night. People, I don't have time for that. Well, I didn't say I'm listening to an hour. I'm like I'm making breakfast. There's a podcast on, or, watering the plants, or, doing something like that. And reading, literally, I'm going to commit to a page. And like, I tell people like 2 pages, I do a page because I know that I could commit to that. And you'll finish a chapter, right? Because you get motivated. But it's just getting started. So if you ever done like, you did the walking, networking, net walking, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know how it is. Like, you're like, well, I could just stay home and stay in pajamas.
Stay in
bed, things like that. It's like the first steps out the door are the hardest. And then it's just like, oh, well, I'm already in motion. It's a lot easier to keep in motion than it is to stop. So yeah, it's just about committing just a little bit makes a huge difference. I'm not even sure what the question was. So I told you I would go off on a tangent.
This is fine. No, it's just about surrounding yourself, I think, and just mixing with those people. And when I get chatting to people like you though, Keith, I just want to soak up everything you're sharing. So for me, I love that about that. Really has made a thing with me to say, you know, it's about who you're listening to and what those voices are telling you. And when you are surrounding yourself with those people that are maybe negative or pulling you down, that's of course going to have that impact on you. Whereas when you switch that up and you start putting that positivity, it's like feeding yourself healthy food, isn't it? You're getting that good stuff in your head and it starts to have an impact on what you're doing with things. So I absolutely love that. So there's lots. What out of your books, what would you say one of your favorite ones was to share, or a couple of them that you have loved writing or you get the best feedback from?
The Color Personalities for Kids, which is a non-business book, is which I love. So it's not business. And even if you don't have kids, if you relate to kids or have friends with kids or business associates with kids, that one is super easy read. And then you realize, oh, well, there you go.
I need to get that one because I love Color Personalities. So when did that's a brilliant one.
So I guess it was about almost 5 years ago now. And it's just really neat because we're all really kids. We just have more responsibilities. It's what it is.
Simple way of looking at it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you realize if you ever like walk into, like we were at a middle school end of the year, the science program that my daughter does, and there was like 250 kids. And it was crazy to watch. Like some kids during the party, they wanted to dance on stage. Like, okay, to me, that's like, that's my version of frightening, you know, but they didn't care. They wanted to party. And there's some kids that were playing the indoor soccer, and some kids went to the library and did like this, you know, what they call it makerspace, like a sciencey thing. And they were coloring. Like every kid wanted to do something different. And you realize they're all happy. They just want to do, you know, different things. You take that as an adult and you realize most of advertising, it's all about, you know, pushing things that only certain personalities like not everybody wants the car, but there is a certain personality that likes the car. Not everybody wants to travel. There's certain people like the travels, and not everybody wants a house. Some people just want an RV so they can travel. You know, there's so many different things. You got to figure out what makes you happy. And so we kind of dumbed it down for kids because, you know, kids, they don't care about, you know, what's my interest rate? What's my miles per gallon?
Yeah, they're just, and I love that idea because for me, like I said, so much of what I've read from your books has been stuff that I've used with my husband as well. We won't mention that, but yeah, the magic words with the husband, but also with the kids. And it taught me so much about building relationships and about how the words that I use, I guess, with so many conversations, and so much of the stuff that I prejudge, nothing to do with business, but just things that I automatically think that somebody's maybe worried about, or something that instead of just asking open questions.
Oh yeah, we all worry like, oh, what are they thinking, or oh, they may be interested, or oh, you know, we don't know. We make stuff up in our head. We all do.
Yeah, we're telling ourselves like completely different stories. I love that. So before I let you go, because there's so many things, what is the best bit about being self-employed, an entrepreneur, a business owner? What is the best things about those?
I guess the big thing is, you know, the one thing I realized is if you want control of how much you make, you're going to have to be in sales. Yeah. And you say, well, I can be a business owner. Well, even if you own any type of business in the world, you have to have some sort of sales. Like you can be a Michelin star chef and have, you know, the best ingredients, but if nobody knows about you or they don't know what your prices are, I'm like, there needs to be some sort of sales. And I think that's the big thing. Of course, yeah, I went off a tangent. Oh yeah, the best thing about being and also for me, it's so, you know, that's the big part because I can, you know, control it. So if I don't make enough, well, that's 100% on me.
Yeah,
which is pretty neat. And I guess the big thing is I like spending time with my family. So like to me, time is more of an asset than money. Honestly, that's just the way I think. Like, yes, it's great to have money. It's great to have, you know, not have debt. You know, that's great. But at the same time, like, Okay, what are you going to do with your time? Time is way more of an asset than money. You could always make more money and leverage your time and things like to make more money and make up for it. But at the time,
Yeah.
like I wanted to go to the middle school party where most of it was hard to get chaperones because they're like, oh, we can get rid of the kids and we're going out. Like, no, I want to spend time with her before she realizes I'm not that cool.
Yeah.
She's
We're just hitting that. How old's your daughter?
So she is 14.
Yeah, my daughter's 14 too, and she's just at that age where we're still okay, but I can feel it building where it's going to be not so fun. And we just got a home by the sea, like a little caravan thing to go to at weekend for that reason, because we said, it's not going to be long before she doesn't want to hang out with us at weekends. She's going to have her own social life, and that is time you cannot buy back. So I'm fully with you that family time is, and we've just got a guy here, Donna and Alan, just saying family time is so important. You just can't put a price on that, and I think that's so true. It's priceless, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, so even and this is just me being old. So like, we did our 20th wedding anniversary, and then my birthday's coming. Every time, like, don't buy, even Christmas, like, don't buy me anything. Like, don't. Okay, they bought me AirPods, a couple years ago. So I was like, okay, because that's great. But everything else, like, don't buy me something. Like, if you want to spend the money, like, let's go out to eat. Let's go on a vacation. One time we got vacations for each other on Christmas before my daughter was around. Like, that's what we want. So
experience.
Yeah, even for her, like, so baseball, they had like this Astros buddy club. So you get like 4 tickets to different games, and like, that's quality time. Like, I want the pitcher. For me, like, I never really post pictures, but like that, I want those memories because those will last longer than anything that you can purchase. And actually, let me clarify on sales. A lot of times people say, well, sales, whether it's direct sales or any sort of sales, people are always weary. I'm not into sales. Like, focus on win-win. If you're always focusing on win-win, you'll win. So many people, they think it's all about the sale. No, it's all about getting a win-win. Like, they're gonna see value. Yeah, if you're all about the sale, and I don't care if it's win-win or win-lose, well, you're gonna lose. So if you're always about win-win, this can change your life. This can help you, and you have that in your mindset, then you can talk to anybody. I don't care if they're a doctor. I don't care what they do for a living. It's all about, you're going to get value. You have the opportunity, you have the option to get value. So never worry about any sort of sales.
I love that with win-win. And I think it's that sales is people get really worried that it's dead funnily or it's dead like pushy but it's not. You're right. Every part of every business has to have sales. Otherwise there's no point. It's just, that's the word that people use. But like you said, if it's a restaurant, you're a journalist, if you're going to a job interview, you're selling yourself, aren't you? So whatever you're at in life, that's absolutely that. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. If people want to find you, we will share your website, we'll share all your details, because you do amazing training. You've come and done a lot of training for our group and Roz's group, but also you've got so many, especially for people in direct sales, so many books that, I mean, just not to be plugging them for you, but the network
better than me plugging.
Network Marketing Leaders that your dad, I just love those 2 books as well. And there's so many things between both of you that you've created that it's like a library at our house. Me and Moz are forever going, oh, I've just read that one again. And I think that's what's great about people that come on board. We're constantly
behind me.
Oh, is it?
Oh, well, which way is it? Okay, the books.
Yeah, that way. It is. It's all those books. Absolutely. Well, you can't always see all mine from right at the back. I don't know if they're all right at the back here, far in the corner. But yeah, I absolutely love them. So we'll share all your websites. Thank you so much for joining us all the way across from Texas tonight. And I will see you tomorrow for your podcast, which I'm so excited about. This will be my first ever international podcast that I've been on. So I'm super excited. And I messaged Roz to tell her because she was like, oh, I did it first. I was like, I know, I'm coming up behind you. So excited to be on there. And I will see you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Yeah, thanks for the time. Thanks for the fun. That went by really quick. So there we go.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we will see you later. Okay, see you later, Keith. Bye.
Bye.